change places after halftime. I have the gentlemen with me. The ladies are in the back ready to go. And if you are ready to go, here's the first question, worth $150. Ladies, does it ever annoy you when your husband comments on how pretty some other woman is? Does it ever annoy you when your husband says, wow, get a load of that. Woo! Is she some... Look at... Do you believe those? Think that over, ladies, and we'll come back in a moment. Off they go. We'll start with you, Georgie. Does Totie, when you... You're in a little trouble now, Georgie.
Oh, boy.
Unbelievable. Even I don't have the strength to go through this.
Hey, Georgie.
See, if I can. The red section, I haven't won one thing for them. But I have to tell you what I think she would say, right?
Yes.
I think
does it annoy her when you comment on how beautiful another woman
Well,
is?
it didn't annoy her that I should tell her about that I had a good time at the party, right? She thought I should tell her.
That's true.
Right?
Right.
So I would say that she, and knowing Totie, she would not be annoyed if I commented on someone else being pretty. I mean, she wouldn't. She don't care.
All right.
She doesn't care.
You want to hear a funny bit that's going to happen now? She's going to outsmart you because she'll remember that you said you wouldn't tell her about the party, so she'll answer the other way. Wait till you see what happens. Wait till you see what happens. Okay. Shh. Quiet. Wait till you see what happens.
We get the double psyching going on
double
now.
psych,
Now, you
John.
watch this. All right, let's bring on
Either
Totie.
way, I get in trouble.
Totie, George is in a little bit of trouble now. We're hoping that this will straighten things out. Does it ever annoy you when he comments on how pretty some other woman is?
Well, Bert, when I used to be married to Georgie...
This goes into the divorce court.
I probably would have broken both his legs.
Yes.
But you want to know something? I appreciate handsome men, and I think it's nice for Georgie to appreciate adorable women.
So it doesn't, and that's what he said.
Absolutely.
Covers himself with glory. You've got it, Georgie. By golly,
Gee.
you came back.
Gee,
You're right.
Lady, you must have a wonderful husband, lady. Whoever he is, he must be great.
Thank you, Totie. Jeff, how about Helen? Does it kind of get to her if you comment on some other lady's beauty?
Well, she said she'd be mad even though she knew I'd tell her about the party.
That's right. She said
But I think, no, it wouldn't bother her.
she wouldn't mind.
I don't think so.
Right. Do you do that from time to time? Say so-and-so is...
That question could get me in trouble.
Yeah, all right. I won't pursue it there. You'll say no, it doesn't annoy her.
Doesn't
Let's bring
annoy
on Helen and see what she says. Helen, would it annoy you, or does it annoy you, when Jeff comments on how pretty some other woman is?
No.
That's right. That's what he said.
Very good.
Now, go figure that compared to the last answer.
But I
you
figured
see?
it out, right?
You're absolutely right. You have a share of the pot as well. Jan, what's Toni going to say?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a kind of weird thing. You know, we're very friendly, Totie and myself and George and everything, you know. And the weird thing is that when I comment on someone else's beauty, Totie gets angry. But not Toni. Toni appreciates beauty, and she doesn't mind if
you say so.
Like it once in a while. Not if I go overboard like you did in the question. Hey, wow, look at those. You know, I don't do
I
no
was just
shtick.
trying to...
Oh, no shtick I don't dare do.
No, you don't do that.
But if I say, what a beautiful lady or a lovely-looking person, she
Right.
doesn't mind that.
She
But,
can't kill you for what you're
wow,
thinking.
look at those. You know, then she gets bored.
Let's bring on Toni. Toni, do you get annoyed if Jan comments on how pretty some other woman is? Does it ever annoy you?
Well, I'd hope I would be too smart to show it if it did.
So the answer is...
No.
That's it. That's the answer. That's the right answer. And you're all right. We split the pot 3 ways. You did that beautifully. We'll come back in a moment with our $300 question and decide it all for today. See you in a moment. Win $300, and this will decide the game. If you are ready, ladies, here we go. Would you like your husband to be a little more stingy or a little more extravagant? That's a good one. Would you like your husband to be a little more stingy or a little more extravagant? Okay? Think it over. There are several implications there, aren't there? We'll come back for your answers in a moment, ladies. We'll start with you, Georgie. Would Toni like you to... Toni like you to be a little more stingy or to be a little more extravagant?
Oh, that's a tough one. That, She probably would want me to be more extravagant in order to keep up with her, but then she might want me to be stingy so that she could be extravagant.
Yes, that's
see,
right.
so that I would save enough to. She would be extravagant. I have to give you an answer, right? Of something.
Yeah, might as well.
She probably would like me to be a little more extravagant.
For you to be a little more extravagant.
She always says I'm stingy.
She does.
She says I'm stingy. So
You're
she probably will
not stingy.
say more extravagant.
Okay,
right.
That's what she'll say. Let's bring her on, see if she does. Totie, would you like George to be a little more stingy or a little more extravagant?
You know, I'm so extravagant, and he allows me to be. And I really, he used to yell at me, and he doesn't anymore. And I wish he'd be a little more stingy with me.
That's not what she said.
I said.
Yeah.
I said
You
she
had
would
it
do that.
You had it figured out right.
Had it figured out, but
then you changed your mind.
Then you just
Don't get angry, Totie. Figure
No,
it out
I'm not
right.
angry because
When was the last time you called me and said you were having a good time at a party? When was it?
Never mind. That's another question.
When
Thank
she
you,
was at
Totie.
my
Jeff,
house,
what's
when
Helen gonna
Toni was
say?
out of town.
Yes, but there isn't a thing in this world that my husband doesn't want me to have. And ulcers is one of them.
It's all over now. Jeff, what about Helen? What's she going to say?
I'm probably the only person who's almost as extravagant as Totie. I would say Helen would want me to be more stingy.
More stingy. Let's bring her on and see what she says. Helen, would you like Jeff to be a little more stingy or a little more extravagant?
More stingy.
That's
please.
it. You got it.
You couldn't be more extravagant.
No.
What's that?
I said you couldn't be more
You
extravagant.
couldn't be
No.
more extravagant? No,
He spins like
okay,
it's
you
going
never
to
stir the
stop.
pot, love. Thank you. Jan, what about Toni?
Well, Bert, I'm a fairly extravagant guy, but knowing Toni, there's no way in the world that she'd want me to be stingy. I would say that she, even though I am extravagant, she'd probably want me even to be more, rather than to be stingy. She'd rather I'd be a little less.
Well, we're saying more. Now, remember, the key is here. Would you like your husband to be a little more stingy or a little more extravagant? Either.
She'd probably settle for me to be a little more extravagant.
Let's bring her on. Toni, would
Yes?
you like your husband to be a little more stingy or a little more extravagant?
A little more stingy with him, a little
That's
more
not what
extravagant
he's...
with me.
That's not... Wait a minute. That's not what you said. That's right. You're wrong. Helen and Jeff are right. They got the whole pot. Guess what, gang? Win it. They came from behind. There it is. We'll come back in just a moment and let you know how much Helen and Jeff have won. Please come back. Won't you see in a moment?